Hello, my friends. I'm Clover, and this is Genuinely Approachable Sudoku, and today I'm recording from the baggage claim at MCI Airport. I apologize for the sound quality, and if there are any sudden pauses in the video, it's because there have been a lot of announcements coming on over the intercom, and you wouldn't be able to hear me while they're playing, so I may have to pause a couple of times. Sorry if this video is a little choppy, sorry it doesn't sound great, but I am doing my best to get you this walkthrough if anybody wanted a little nudge with this particular Philip puzzle. So this is Giften by
For
Philip
taxi
Newman.
and rideshare, step outside and use crosswalk to commercial curb.
Oh, and that was an example of just such a little pause. This is Giften by Philip Newman. This is a German whisper Sudoku. This is the second day of Philip's Christmas Advent calendar in GAS, and we have normal Sudoku rules, meaning we're placing the digits 1 through 9 once each in each row, each column, and each outline 3x3 region. And in addition to that, we have a single, very long German whispers line. That's this green line in the grid, and along the line, digits that directly adjoin each other, like these two digits, or these two digits, or these two digits, have to have a difference of 5 or more. And that implies something that we're going to use heavily throughout the solve, which is that digits have to alternate between low and high, because the digits 1 through 4 are only ever distant enough from the digits 6 through 9, and vice versa. 5 can actually never appear on a line, and 4 and 6 are kind of special digits here. You can see they've been called out in this puzzle, actually, because they can each only go next to one other digit. 6 can only ever go next to 1, 4 can only ever go next to 9. So we can actually just go ahead and pencil those in. But then I'm also going to color the entire line because we know we're alternating between high digits and low digits. I'm going to kind of keep myself organized while I'm solving this by highlighting all of the low digits before I even know what any of them are. So blue is going to represent low digits in this solve. But we're not going to start by placing low digits. We're actually going to start by placing some 5s. So I have a 5 here. 5 can't go on the line and 5 can't go there, so 5 must go there. I also am going to have a 5 right there. I'm going to have a 5 in one of these two cells because of this 5, and because I have 5s here and here, I am going to have a 5 either there or there. I also need to place some 4s and some 6s. If we look at this 4, 4 can't be in any of these cells. 4 has to be in a low cell, so 4 is going to be in one of those. And if 4 was right here, we'd have to put 2 additional 9s in that would already see this 9. So 4 is going to go right there, which will give us another 9. And now 4 is definitely going to go into one of those cells. 6s, 6 needs to go into a high cell in this region. So it has to go in either one of those 3 or in the empty cell. But it actually can't go in any of these 3 because all 3 of these are going to have to be next to something that is greater than 1 somewhere. So that's definitely going to have to be our 6. So now if we look up here, 6 can't go in those cells. It obviously can't go there or there. So it's got to go here, here, or here. Okay, that's not quite as useful as I hoped it would be. Okay, so where to next then? Let's see. Alright, I'm going to pencil mark some of my low digits in here to try to place a few more of them, and I'm going to start by pencil marking them all as 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm going to make a lot of eliminations to that quite quickly. That's also 1, 2, 3, or 4. So these share a region with 4. That shares a column with 4. These guys share a region with 1. So one thing that stands out to me here is that one of these definitely has to be a 4. And it can't be either of these, because if either of these was a 4, we would need to place 2 9s, one on either side of it, into the same region. So that's going to be our 4, which makes these our 9s. So now those guys can't be 4s anymore, because we've used the 4 in the row, which means that these 3 digits are going to be a 6, 7, 8 triple. However, these 2 cannot be 6s. This one because it's next to something that's bigger than 1, and this one because it's next to 2 different digits that can't both be 1. So that is going to be a 6 for us. This can't be a 4 because it's between 2 different digits. These 2 both see a 1, so that's going to be a 2, 3 pair. And that makes these guys 4, 7, and 8. These 2 are high digits, so that's going to be our 7, 8 pair. And now this is going to be a 4. That can't be a 4 because it's between 2 other digits, so the only place for 4 in this region is there. And that finally places our 5, which places another 5 here, because that's now the only position for 5 in region 6. Okay, I don't think we can do much more with the 5s at this moment. We do get to place another 6 based on what we've just placed. There are 3 6s looking into the bottom left region, which gives us a 6 right here. And so now we know we have a 6 either here or here. We can't quite rule out either of those just yet. All right, these guys are from 7, 8, and 9, and because we have a 9 in the column, we know where the 9 goes. And now if we look across this row where we just placed the 9, there's a 2, 3 pair that's emerged, which makes that a 1. So these are now going to be 6, 7, and 8. This certainly can't be 6 or 7 because it definitely has to be next to a 3. So that's 8 making this 7, which resolves our 2 and our 3. So that's now going to be a 3 next to an 8 and a 2 next to a 7 in that region. This will be our 1. And this can't be a 6 because it can't be next to 2 1s. So that's going to be a 7, which is between a 1 and a 2. And that will be a 6. That makes this a 3, so it can't be next to a 7. It's next to an 8. And that's a 7, which must be between a 1 and a 2. All right, these 2 high digits will be 8 and 9. We have a 9 in column 5 already, so that's resolved. An 8 can't be next to 4, so that's going to be a 3. Now, what are these? These are 1, 2, 6, and 7. That's not 1 or 7, and it's not 2 because it has to be high. Therefore, it is a 6, which checks out because it is, in fact, next to a 1. This guy must be high, so it's a 7, which is next to either a 1 or a 2. That all checks out. This is now our only position for 6 in region 1. This must be an 8 because it's next to 3, but we already know it's not a 9. So I'm going to eliminate 3 here and 3 and 4 here based on what I already have in the column. Now these are going to be 7 and 9 to finish off this column. These guys are going to be 3 and 8 to finish off this region. That's going to be a 4 to finish off this region. If I look at this column, that's either a 2 or a 3. These guys are 2, 3, 7, or 8. That's not a 2 or a 3. That's not a 2 or a 7. That's not a 3 or an 8. I don't think that gives me enough to resolve this completely just yet, but we're getting there. There's a 1 in that row. That's a 2 or a 3. All right, these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7. Those can't be 4. That can't be 1 or 7. And that can't be a 2. That also can't be a 2. I'm sorry if the solve is a little bit scattered. As you can see, this isn't my usual recording environment. I still need a 4 and a 5 in this column. They'll go there and there. And these 2 digits are going to be a 9 and a 6. The 9 is definitely going to go here because it's next to a 3. 6 can't go next to 3. This is between a 9 and a 7, so it's a 1 or a 2 to go next to the 7. That places a 4 in the row. We now have a 1, 2 pair in the row, which gives us a 3, and that becomes a 7. And this is now either a 1 or a 2, and because we have a 2 in column 1 already, that is resolved. That becomes a 2, which that becomes a 1. Cool. Now if we finish off these columns based on what we've already placed, we get a 2 there. And we can't quite do the 7, 9 yet. There is a 1 in between them. So these are now 3, 5, and 8. That will be the 5 because there's a 3 and 8 in the row, so it's a naked 5. We now have a 3, 8 pair here, making these guys 4 and 5. These are from 3, 7, 8, 9. And that's a naked 8 because it sees a 3, 7, and 9 already. That's not 3 or 8. I have an 8 in the region, so that's a 3. This is all going to resolve. Awesome. That becomes a 9. We now know that that's a 7. These will be 1 and 2 to finish off this region. These are going to be 5 and 6 to finish off the column. And finally, we need a 3 and a 7. And unbelievably, I have finished the puzzle correctly, and that is how you solve Philip Newman's Giften Tag, second day of Philip's Advent Calendar on December 6th. Hope you guys liked that one. I thought that was really fun, actually. I like a big chunky German whispers puzzle. If you want to solve it yourself, the link is in the description below this video, and I will see you again in 3 days.